Heels are not new. For millennia, men and women alike have been conjuring up ways to make themselves taller through creative and often fashionable means. Whether it was the boots that Louis XIV wore in the palaces at Versailles, the fabulous heels that Marilyn Monroe wore during her famous scene in Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, or the risky business that a famous Hollywood actor took to raise his profile, literally, and who, through the magic of shoe inserts and the camera, managed to look so much taller, heels gave all of these people a platform in one way or another. And platforms were the thing in the 1970s. Between the dawn of the decade through the disco era and into the early 1980s, platform shoes saw their heyday in the most groovy of ways. When these fashion must-haves peaked in the mid-1970s, the rule was the chunkier the better, and fashion-focused men and women alike followed the trend with abandon. Watch any clip of Soul Train from the mid-70s, and you'll see some really funky-looking folks getting down with some equally funky and equally high platform soles. And it wasn't just adults who enjoyed a boost to their height during this time. Tweens and teens were eager to get in on the action, and the coolest of the cool crowd at school could often be seen in the popular heels. At first, it was definitely a female-only thing, but in not too long, teen boys and men got in on the action. For women, platform shoes were appealing because, unlike stiletto or spiked heels, the clunky nature of the shoes seemed to distribute one's weight more evenly and weren't as taxing on the rest of the body. For men, no one can deny that the 1970s era glam rock groups that were popular during the time had a huge influence on the acceptability of men wearing these fashion objects. Don't believe me? Just Google T-Rex, David Bowie, or Elton John circa 1975 and you'll see what I mean. Later on in the decade, the disco era and the likes of clubs like Studio 54 solidified the platform shoe's position in the halls of fashion classics. After all, one couldn't get down without being lifted up and up and up by wearing these height-enhancing items. In recent times, and like with any fashion, we've seen the resurgence of platform heels in an homage to the swinging 70s. Fans of the late 90s girl group, the Spice Girls, will remember the impossibly high and very impressive platforms worn by Ginger Spice. As well, there was an upward trend in platforms near the end of the 90s because, like clockwork, the 20-year cycle dictated it had to be so. That being said, the later versions of the original 1970s staple were a nice homage to the original item that changed fashion back in the day, but could never hope to be as impressive or as groovy as the originals.